another change of seasons. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get our good friend Dean Rutledge up here. Please welcome Dean Rutledge. Welcome, Dean. Oh, how are you today?
Oh, fine.
That's good. That's good. We go back a little ways. Dean is probably one of the first people in the Detroit metro area that kind of took us under his wing and showed us a few of the ropes.
He wears deodorant. No.
Yeah. First thing we want to ask you, Dean, is your days with the Kingston Trio.
There were 29 of them. It was a real short stay. I went out in 1976, I think it was, with the Kingston Trio, and it took me about 2 weeks to realize how little I missed being on the road, and opted out after a while. It was an interesting time, though. It was good to see those people. I came into the business on the shirt tails of the Kingston Trio, and it looked like a good way to go out again.
Now, you tell an interesting story. You told this to us about 3 years ago at the Midtown Cafe, about the style of banjo they like to hear. Do you remember that, where Dean's an accomplished banjo player? And, well, in my mind you are.
Thank you.
And you were playing a certain way, and they didn't quite think you were...
Too bluegrassy, maybe?
No, maybe too bluegrassy, a little too good, might be.
Maybe in tune or something?
Was it a lie you were telling us a little?
I must have made it up, because I don't remember that at all.
That's it. You heard it right here from his mouth.
I never liked those guys anyway. So.
One thing's amazing about Dean, you don't know what he's exactly telling you.
What?
What's exactly telling you?
All right, now the new Christie Minstrels. How long were you with them?
27 days, I think.
Was this concurrent with the Kingston Trio stay?
I left them for the Kingston Trio.
He had a busy summer of 80.
There's an interesting story about a banjo with them, and...
Sounds like deja vu. Okay, on to further things.
Sounds like deja... Oh, yes.
Sounds like further things. Oh, it sounds like further... what are you doing right now?
Right now I'm playing some of the local clubs and preparing myself for whatever comes next. You never know in this business anyway, so... Yeah. Four Green Fields is my favorite club these days, and I'm spending my Fridays in semi-retirement there. That means when I get tired and fall asleep, they pull me off the stage and put up the real guy, and I go and do the floors.
Now, one thing we want to ask you, too, is about your Indian heritage, to get a little serious now. You are 1/4?
I'm English, Irish, Cherokee, and Cocker Spaniel.
I can tell by the ears.
There's the ears. The ears getting away, folks. Have a close-up on those ears.
My ancestors weren't real picky. They just wanted to make sure the lineage continued, that's all.
Now, I remember a few of the songs that you used to play. Do you have a lot of songs that deal with your Indian heritage? Or do you play them for that reason?
I was only Cherokee for about 32 days.
And you played Indian banjo.
That was concurrent with the Christie Minstrels and with the Kingston Trio.
Each of those groups asked me to join the other. I think it was Bob Shane of the Kingston Trio that said, you should either join the Christie Minstrels or become Cherokee, one or the other.
I have certain reservations about that.
That's a feather in his cap.
I'm not even getting involved in this. You guys can just carry on. Not me. Now, you're originally from Arkansas?
Yes, it says on your notes right there.
Dean is from Arkansas.
Right next to Wah Wah Pedal, it says...
Dean, tell us about your Wah Wah Pedal.
I got it in Arkansas when I was with the Christie Minstrels just before I joined the...
And the Wah Wah Pedal was 27 days old when he bought it.
I only had it for about... I was born and raised in Arkansas. I lived along the St. Francis River, read things like Tom Sawyer, and at an early age decided I would go on the road since the river wasn't that big where I was. It was real shallow. So I traveled around with the country with my folks who were in the Air Force and got used to traveling, and for a long time I kind of enjoyed it myself. And
we were going to ask you exactly where or how did you get to Detroit now? Is that your Air Force parents' background?
No, actually I ended up in Detroit. Years and years ago, I had a possible job at the Jongleur in Jacksonville, Florida. They usually had a group like yourselves versus a soloist who would warm up for them. And they offered me the job as a warm-up if I could find a group, and I found a group in Detroit, Chuck and Joni Mitchell. who turned out not to be as much a duo as two soloists vying for supremacy. And I remember the battle came out that Joni won. I think
she
Joni
does have
Mitchell,
a name still.
Chuck Mitchell owns a house somewhere around Council Bluffs, Iowa, I believe, and Joni owns most of San Francisco and Toronto.
On that note, I'll tell you what, we're gonna take a real short break. We're gonna be back in a few. Stick around. We're gonna get Dean up here and do some songs together. Thank you.